Z.ai just released the newest model that's called GLM 4.6. And this past 24 hours, I've been trying it out, comparing it with different models, using different AI tools with it. And I gotta say, like for $3, like this is such an insane value. You get so much out of $3. Like the limit is high, like higher than Claude Code. And the result is, I would say, on par with like Sonnet. And I've been comparing with like Codex and like other different coding tools. And I'd say like if you're looking for like a cheap model and you don't want to reach your limits every like 5 hours or so, like in Claude Code, I highly recommend getting this coding plan. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm also gonna give you like a real world test and comparison with Codex, which is all the hype right now on X, on YouTube. I see it all the time. But when I try it out, well, you'll see the result, and I'll give you some of my thoughts and my experience with it after like about a week of usage with the Codex CLI and also the Codex extension on VS Code. So I'll give you guys a quick rundown on what the GLM coding plan is and where you can get it, and also how you can use it. So basically, GLM, or like the parent company is called Z.ai. They have this coding plan. It's called GLM coding plan, and it's actually there's actually a lot of pricing for it. As you can see, there's a monthly pricing and there's a quarterly pricing and also a yearly pricing, and they're all like 50% off, which is insane. Like I don't know how they can sustain this much like usage with this amount of like low prices. So right now I'm using the Coding Lite, and I'll tell you, like I've been using Claude Code for the past 3 months prior to this. And I was on the pro plan, which was like $20. At like the first month, I was fine. I never reached the limit. But then like the last 2 months, like, bro, like I've always reached the limit, and I work around like I code around like 6 to 10 hours a day for like 7 days a week. And so I was like switching back and forth between Cursor and Claude Code. And in the end, like when GLM released this, I just quickly switched. I canceled my plan, literally canceled it on that day, and bought the $3 one because I was very curious how good it was. And I never looked back. Like this is like, I've never reached the limit, and I've been using the GLM coding plan for about like, I'd say like 2 to 3 weeks now. And yeah, now they released the GLM 4.6, and I compared it with the 4.5. Like the UI it produces, it's way better. And then like it's the speed, it's good. And yeah, like for this price, like you can't complain. Like especially with that rate limit, which is like so high. I never reached it. But yeah, if you do reach it, like you can just upgrade. The pricing is actually like way better if you purchase a quarterly one or like a yearly one. And as you guys know, like I'm not actually an affiliate. I'm just telling you guys this is like the best value. And basically you get access to the GLM 4.6. And other than the cheap pricing or like the affordable pricing, you also get like a really good model, like GLM 4.6. The benchmark, I mean, yeah, I tend to not really rely on benchmarks because, you know, like, especially when the ones releasing them are like the companies that actually made it. So I will actually like do a full on real world, you know, like building an app from scratch with this model, and also comparing it to other models. So, which is Codex, so that you can see how good it actually is in the real world. And I'll also give some review on my experience, you know, using it day to day compared to other models and also other tools. And the other like main benefit of using this kind of coding plan, and why I'm so like confused why no other like providers are actually doing like these monthly plans, is because you can actually use it on like different tools, and that's like so good. Why? Because like you don't have to rely on one tool. So for example, if one tool like one open source tool, like for example Claude Code just did like released a new version, which is Claude Code version 2, you can quickly go in there and then like just put your API key and then use it. Or you can use like Open Code, Climb, and Kilo Code, and there's a whole bunch of other tools you can use with this plan. And that's what I love, what I love so much about them. And yeah, but I mainly use Claude Code for the speed, and also they just released their extension with on VS Code, which I'll be showing you guys. And yeah, that's just a breeze, and like it has such a good UX in my opinion. And of course, if you've already subscribed and you wanna know how to implement it in your tool of choice, you can do so by looking at the docs. It's quite simple, but there's like several methods on doing it. But of course, like the first thing you have to do is like get the API key. But I do highly recommend, especially if you want to use the extension on VS Code, to actually use this last, this last method, which is just adding the .env, or like just adding the env in your settings.json on this. Why? Because I don't know, for some reason when you do the envs, it just wasn't being detected when I was on VS Code on the extension. So I resorted to this method. I just copied my API key and then my base URL, which are these. Can you get these? And then I just copy it here and then I paste it in my Claude Code / settings.json, and that just worked. So yeah. That's how I used it on Claude Code, but of course you can also use it on client. I use more, and Open Code is also an alternative to the CLI, but yeah, there's also Kilo Code, Groot Code, and you can use it on Gemini CLI, and of course the Grok CLI. But yeah, I stick with Claude Code because I get the best result from it. So anyways, I'm gonna be comparing this with Codex. Why? Because it's just all the hype right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are using it right now because it does come with the ChatGPT Plus plan. So Codex does come with several ways or like several approaches that you can take, or like tools they provide for you to use the actual model for coding. The first one is Codex Web. It's just on the web, and then you can connect the repository. I think it's pretty much like you just tell it you just give it a task, and then the Codex will run it in the cloud, so you don't have to do it locally. And the CLI, that's pretty much Claude Code, but yeah, from OpenAI, you just have your CLI, you have to install it and everything in your local, and also the Codex extension, you also have to install it, and it works on VS Code, Cursor, Windsurf. It just gives like a chat interface in your like IDE, which is nicer for like beginners because you can visualize everything, and of course, like it's a very familiar UI. But yeah, I usually use the Codex CLI. Anyways, I'll be comparing it with my typical workflow, which I think is like the best way if you want to do AI coding. There's this 5-step workflow that I always do, and this is going to be for testing out. This is also going to be used for me actually creating a whole full stack app. And yeah, I'll be showing you guys that, and I'll be using GLM 4.6 with that coding plan and Claude Code alongside with Codex, so we can see and compare how they both do. Okay, so I'll just do a quick explanation on my workflow, and I'll be going through it. So the first one is I always do planning. Like I do extensive planning because of course, like if you're a developer, you know that pretty much 80% of the work I would say is like just planning and thinking about features, thinking how you can implement these, the user requirements and things like that. So what I do is I just chat with an AI and then I create docs from it. But I do have the subscription to Codeguide. So Codeguide actually makes that easier for us, where we just need to prompt it. It's just a quick 4-step process. It starts off with you explaining the app. So the app I'm going to be creating now for this test is a fitness tracker chatbot where there will be an assistant and a chat UI. I just pretty much chat with it, and then it'll save the data that I provided. Like for example, my height, weight, and my fat percentage, and also like my workout, maybe my sets, my reps for the day, and my workouts, like my bench and stuff. And then it'll just pretty much save it, and then you'll be able to see it on the dashboard, and then it'll provide insights into maybe like a meal plan and things like that. But yeah, that's the first step. It's just a quick, I just tell it my problem and things like that. And it continues on and asks questions. This is to clarify and just fill in the gaps to like eliminate any hallucinations, which is a common problem with AI tools or AI coding tools. And then the third step is you'll create a project outline based on everything we've input. And also it'll show us the tech stack and the doc that's going to be generated. I'll just generate all the docs. And also I'm using a starter kit. which is going to be the second step that I will be explaining, like the second step in the workflow I'll be explaining to you guys. So yeah, why do I use a starter kit? Pretty much every time I try to build an app from scratch, like just tell the app to build or like create a Next.js app or things like that, and I don't provide any like boilerplate or template, like 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be like an error, especially with Tailwind nowadays. I don't know why, probably because they just updated. But yeah, so to get rid of those hassles, I just use a starter kit, and then we do provide one from Codeguide, which is Codeguide Starterline. This is completely free. You can just get it from GitHub. You can just search it on Google like I did just now, and then you can just I just created new repository from the template. So let's just do that right now. So like fitness tracker AI dashboard. Yeah, that's a good name. Okay, and I'll make it public so I can share it to you guys, and you can see how the final result is. So it's just gonna create a new repo for me, and then yeah. So let's continue on to the next step of the workflow. So after you get the starter kit, you go into the third step, which is your local setup. You just clone your repo and then add the docs pretty much. So what I do is I use VS Code because yeah, I just use Claude Code, so there's no use to like opening cursor or like any other IDE that's AI native. So yeah, I just press clone from Git, and then I just do this. I just press enter, and then it'll ask me to open. Boom, there we go. It's all set up. Next.js, and then for this stack, I'm going to be using Next.js, Supabase, and Clerk. Why am I using Supabase and Clerk? Because it is the best way, I think the best and easiest way to create an MVP, because it's so fast. You don't have to like deploy another Postgres, and the auth and the UI for the auth is all set up from Clerk, and that's like the best experience for me. And that's like how I can really quickly get things done, like make an app like an under a week with AI. And yeah, that's why I just use this stack. But yeah, of course, if you have your own preference, you can just search your own starter kit with your preferred tech stack on GitHub, or you can do this on Perplexity. There's going to be a bunch of them. So after I've cloned the repo I just made from that starter kit, let me add the docs. And there are ways of adding your docs to the project. But if you're using Codeguide, you can easily just press implement docs, and then yeah, there's gonna be your API key. It's gonna generate an API key for you to connect to, and you can just copy the full prompt. That's like the easiest way to do it. You just copy the prompt, and then yeah, I just run my Claude Code. So I just do YOLO mode. I always do this YOLO mode because there's no other reason why you need to like press yes. Like there's never been a problem for me anyway. So yeah, just paste it, and then it will try to implement everything, like add the docs. So because Codeguide does come with like their own library on npm, where it will just connect to the API of Codeguide, and then yeah, get everything sorted out, like add the docs, add your rules or whatever, right? And then add like the tasks, because it also generates tasks. So for example, here there's task, and then it's pretty much, yeah, just a project setup, because this is like a new project, and then it's going to tell like how to do things and like what to make. And yeah, it's just a better way so the AI can keep track on like what to actually do. Yeah. So yeah, while that's running, I'm going to show you like an alternative. If you're not using Codeguide, you can also just use like any chatbot. Like maybe you can use like ChatGPT, like Gemini. I prefer Gemini 2.5 Pro because it is like a really good thinking model, and you get some free access to it, but there are rate limits. But yeah, it's good enough. You can generate docs, and if you are like trying to generate docs from them, just have a quick chat and add the prompt like similar to what I did here. But at the end, you just tell them like, say, okay, generate docs that includes the core features, the database schema, and then like like the core features and user flow, and also like just try to propose what you want to actually build. That's my recommendation. All right, so as you can see, Claude has finished running everything from the prompt that I pasted from Codeguide, and it has added all the docs that was on my Codeguide project, as you can see here. And the next thing you want to do is we want to make the database for our project. And as you can see here, it did create a sort of like, what do you call it? Like a database schema. And what we can do is just we copy this and then we paste it in the SQL editor. But since that's not like a real like Postgres SQL query, we can use the feature in Supabase to actually convert it to a Postgres SQL. So we can just tell it to convert this to Postgres database tables. And then, yeah, you can just and click enter, and then it'll create the database schema for you. Okay, so the AI from Supabase did finish all the queries, and I just copy and pasted it here, and it ran successfully. And you can check that everything is in place now. Yeah, we have, as you can see, we have all the tables that we wanted. Next, what I like to do is copy everything from this SQL editor that we just submitted to Supabase to a new file in the VS Code we have. And I just put it in the documentation here, and yeah, I just tell it like a database schema .md, and then I just encase it in like the code block, and then just make it SQL, paste it here. And so therefore, any AI agent that will go through the app will see the database schema and understand the schema that we are using for the database. Okay, next step is we would want to connect with Clerk, so we can integrate Supabase with Clerk as their auth. And I've done that. It's a very easy step. You just go to Clerk, and then you'll go to this page, and then you can just copy and press the Supabase link here. It'll open Supabase, and also, yeah, it will prompt you to add the provider, and just add Clerk with that domain, and that's all done. Okay. Next, what I do is, yeah, we can just actually start. Yeah. Let me just double check. Yep. So yeah, we've set up our local environment, everything you clone the repo. And yeah, we also set up Supabase. Oh, and of course, you don't want to forget to actually connect Supabase to your local environment. And to do that is you just press connect, and then it will show your API key and also your anon key and also your Supabase URL, which you can then place in your .env.local. You can also just copy and paste from your .env.example. As you can see, this is the example, and then you can just copy and then paste it. And then yeah, just rename it to local. Then after that, you can get rid of this. I'm using that. And then yeah, you can just get the environment variables for these, and also from Clerk. From Clerk, you can easily do that by going to config and then API keys, and then just copy and paste it in the env. And yeah, there we go. And then I'll be doing that also for Supabase by clicking this button over here. All right, so everything is good to go. Codeguide CLI has set up everything. The docs is there, agent is there. I've already added my env variables to the env.local. And then of course, we can just go back to Claude Code, which is I'm using Claude Code 2.0. And then I'll copy this exact project and then creating it on a separate folder, and then I'll start Codex there. Okay, so I've got everything set up now. On this VS Code instance, I am running GLM 4.6 with Claude Code CLI v2, as you can see here. And for Codex, I've run it on a separate folder with the exact same setup, which is the docs and like the starter kit and everything, and also the env I've added, things like that. And now we can actually start. And to start, we should have, we can just tell it to create the app based on the docs in that documentation folder. Let me just make a prompt, and then I'll just copy it. Okay, so I've added this prompt, and I'll just run it on Codex. And this is on YOLO mode, so I don't have to press yes or anything. Just go start it. And of course, I'm using GPT-5 Codex High. Because it is like the best one, but yeah, we'll see how that does. It might take longer, but yeah, who knows. And then on Claude Code, let me just do the exact same prompt, and then just press enter, and yeah, it'll start. And now you can just wait. You can grab a coffee, or you can just watch YouTube. It might take a while because of course it's making things from scratch, but yeah, let's see. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, I'm back. And it seems that all our AI agent is finished, and as you can see, yeah, Codex just gave a small update, and then the next steps. But yeah, Claude Code with GLM 4.6 did give a more extensive like approach and just explained everything. But yeah, I also just changed the port for each of the apps so that we can compare it side by side. And yeah, we can just start running this, I guess. Okay, run dev. And then yeah, this is for Claude Code with GLM coding plan, GLM 4.6. Oh, okay, interesting. And then for Codex, yeah, can you start running this also? I changed the port to 3090 so we don't have any like conflicts. We'll see. Ooh, okay, that looks okay. That looks nice. Actually, does look nice. All right, so it's first impression of the result. This is all from the first prompt. Like I didn't change anything. I didn't give any more prompts. This is literally like the first prompt. And yeah, same goes for this. Like yeah, just so you guys know, I didn't change anything. Okay, anyways, let's go through it. So Codex is nice actually. Like I like it's very simple. It gives like these gradients, which is like very trendy for any AI apps. But yeah, it is not giving that much content, which is fine, I guess. And let's see this. Okay, so this is like there's more contrast here with the colors and they have more icons, but yeah, okay, so this is a bug. Not a bug, but like something that they left out. They should have removed this from the starter kit. So I'll just ask GLM 4.6 to remove it. And yeah, but yeah, let's see if the signing works on here. I already added okay, so it does work. So the signing with clerk works on the one on GLM 4.6. But yeah, I just need to remove this because it is just a template. Let me just do that right now with this, or remove the checks, saying this. Yeah, let me just copy and paste that so it will be able to find it easier. And with this, I should already be logged in because I did log in on, okay, let me just log in first on this. But yeah, it is not showing like dark mode, which is strange, but yeah, let's just continue. Okay, so it detected, I think it detected my cookies from the other browser, so let me just refresh, probably that'll fix it. There we go. Okay, so we do have the chat now. It's just saying there's chat, but there's no chat. Not sure what that is. Yeah. So yeah, did it not finish the app? I'm not sure. Let me check this. Does this work? Yeah, so this is on Codex, and yeah, it does not seem like it finished it. Interesting. And there is okay, so it finished the ENV checks before, but there is an error now. Maybe it's still editing. Yeah, it's still editing. Okay, let me just wait until it finishes, and I'll also prompt Codex, telling it that the app does not seem to be finished. Yeah, let me just tell it that, and we'll see. I'll skip it until until the app is actually finished, and I'll tell you guys what I did and yeah, how the experience was, and also my prior experience. Okay, so the results are in. I did some prompts to both agents, Codex and Claude Code with GLM 4.6. And let me tell you, yeah, they did something wrong. And in total, let me just count how many prompts I actually did since the start of this project. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I did a total of 6 prompts, including the initial prompt for Claude Code plus GLM 4.6. And let's see how Codex did. Okay, let's just go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I did 7 on Codex, and I think the reason was I did an extra prompt because Codex just didn't fully start creating the app straight away at the start. So I had to actually trigger it to actually start as shown on the previous clip. And anyway, let's get to the result. So this first one is gonna be on GLM 4.6 on Claude Code. So this is what the chat screen looked like, and I mean, it does look pretty like messy because like there's this overflow and then like yeah, I don't know why this isn't aligned properly. Overall, it's not good like the UI, but the layout is there. But yeah, we just need to probably like an extra prompt or two will help fix these issues. But yeah, the chat works. Like I tried this. Let me just make another one. Yeah, I weighed like 180 and 90 like 2 days ago, you know? Yeah, so and then it should give me a result. Okay, yeah, there's a result. Yeah, I mean, and it's just scrolling down like it's supposed to be like a fixed screen, so I can scroll through this window. But yeah, anyways, that could be fixed with a prompt or two. And let's see with the fitness, sorry, the app on Codex. So this was created by Codex GPT-5, GPT-5 Codex High. I used that only that model, and it is like way better. Like the UI is really good, like the alignment is really good, and you can see it's like very simple. Like the colors are good, and yeah, like it is. I think it's just way better at UI for now. I mean, at least for the chat page, I haven't gone to the other page. But we'll go through it together. But anyways, I will show you another feature that I think, yeah, the Codex made on this was that you're able to actually like quickly just, create these actions to have the prompt filled in your chat window, sorry, in your chat input, which is really nice. You didn't have that in the Claude Code and GLM 4.6 one, but you do have this. Let me just try running this. Okay, it does not work. I don't know if it does work. Am I triggering something? But yeah, anyways, let's just do it on this. Yeah, let's do that. Press send. This is for the workout. Let's see if it did log it. On this, it did make the log. Like it saved it to the database through this like a function call. Okay, there's an error here. I don't know why. But yeah, let's do the same on here on GLM 4.6 and see if that works. Okay, that's cool. I don't know if let's actually see if it's logged. So yeah, you can go to the table editor and then you can see. So these are the ways that were logged, and then the workouts. So, okay, it did actually log it, and this is probably from okay, but okay, this is today, so that's correct. And yeah, so that was from GLM 4.6. So GLM 4.6 got that correct. Probably the function call code from Codex was not working as well. But yeah, anyways, that's just a plus point to GLM. Let's go through the next page on GLM, which is the dashboard. And we'll see. Okay, this looks pretty neat. Okay, so they didn't implement the chart yet, but you do see the overview, and then also there's a quick filter of like 7 days and like 30 days, 90 days, okay, whatever. And you can export the data. Let's see if it works. Not sure if it does. Yeah, just what I thought. It does not work yet, but that's fine. Activity calendar, I don't see any like functionality here, but so yeah, whatever, bro. But yeah, you do see the recent workouts. It's very like simple, but it is there. Like it is reading the docs that we've written. So yeah, so that I think that's why the windows or the pages look quite similar in terms of layout, because it is following the docs that we've created. Okay, so in here, let's see the dashboard page. All right, so you can see the chart, and yeah, there are like this is the weight. So what is this? Looks so bad, bro. Okay, so yeah, the UI on this, like I would say this is working okay. I mean it looks okay. But of course, like it doesn't have the chart, and like the layout is neater on here because like yeah, they use tables and yeah, but it is like having, I don't know why, by default, it's like loading, even though I'm pretty sure it's like an empty data. It's not even loading. Because like on here, you can see it's just 0 and 0. But on here, if there's no data, it's loading, which is really bad. So the amount of prompt we did on both were pretty much the same. But yeah, the result in terms of logic, like GLM got it correct. And even like the function calls worked. But the UI on Codex was better, but the logic just is not there because these are all on the back end. So those are back end logic, and sorry, this is front end actually. But the function call was on the backend logic and it was not working on here. So yeah, that's a bad, I think that's like minus point for Codex. But yeah, let me just wrap it up. So overall, I do think that of course, GLM coding plan, like bro, like for the money, like it is way worth it. Like, cause like the rate limit is high, like it's higher than Claude Code, and I have never reached it. And as you can see, the result before, the UI isn't the best, but I think you can get it done with several references and also with some, like some prompts alongside the docs that we've made. And in terms of Claude Code Vision 2, I think it's really good. It has a good, it's like it was actually faster than Codex because like Codex was like slower because maybe that's the model that I'm using is GPT-5 Codex High. But anyways, overall, like for $3 and then $10 for the second month, and also like all these discounts, which is crazy. Like I think it's just gonna keep getting better with time because they are updating the open source models constantly, and they just did the update yesterday, which is really nice. Overall, for like a daily use for like most of my tasks, I am using GLM now. But yeah, for Codex, it is really good on the UI. You can see that it's very neat, it's very structured, it has a very good taste, I would say, even though we have the doc set and the standard set, but they do have like some, I don't know, maybe some, they have better intuition in the design. But yeah, just the logic, I don't think he got it correctly because like you're not supposed to show loading when there's no data, right? So, I mean, this is just like one use case. Of course, if I recreate it, do it again, it might have different results, but this is just the first impression. And I have, so to tell you guys my prior experience, before this, I've used Codex, for about a week, and then like the GLM 4.6 I've just used for like 24 hours, and then 4.5 I've used for about 3 weeks. And overall, I'm very impressed with the GLM coding plan. Like it's really good, in compared to Claude Code with Anthropic. Of course, they have the better model, but in terms of like the daily task, it does get it done. Like GLM 4.5 and 4.6 get things done, and the logic, like the understanding of the code and everything is really good. And then my experience with Codex is that it tends to overthink, like it thinks a lot, and that makes it slower. Maybe that's because I'm on the high one, like the high version of the model, but I expect the high one to have better results. But in the end, like if you compare it to like Claude Sonnet or like Claude 4 Sonnet, it is better, like for the time, like it is faster, and then also for GLM 4.5, it is also faster. So I'm not sure if it's worth it, but for the price of $20, you do get ChatGPT Plus, which is alongside your ChatGPT plan that pretty much everyone uses right nowadays on ChatGPT because they have access to GPT-5 and everything. But yeah, if you are looking for like a cheap alternative, and of course like an open source model that you can use on like different tools, I highly recommend GLM 4.6 from the coding plan because it's monthly build. You don't have to worry about the API usage. It's really nice. And yeah, overall, for coding day to day, I do prefer GLM coding plan with Claude Code. And yeah, that's my final verdict. So yeah, if you guys have any feedback or have any questions, you can just leave it in the comment below. I'll be putting every resource I've used in this video, along with like the documentation, and also the repo that I've created and the project in the description. So keep an eye out, and also if there's any updates, we'll put it there also. Thank you.